Right, is it working? Should be working. Should be working. It'll catch up. In fact, right. Let me know when you guys can, when it's all working and stuff, because I'll be talking to you, as well as other things. But I just want to congratulate you all, in fact. The Coca-Cola Death Squads did their work, and Antifa are terrorists now. Doubtless to your, no doubt in small part to your thankless activism. And I'm not joking when I say that. 350,000 people or so signed that petition to get the White House to recognise Antifa as a domestic terrorist organisation. And then a few days later, it's leaked that they've been doing so for quite some time. That's a very interesting coincidence, isn't it? I know it's not much, but here's some shackles to help you keep the fight. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. That's not why I was doing this, though. I was doing this because Antifa Tears, baby. What's the good word, Merc? Merc, we are winning. We have a victory. And this has been a good one. But, yeah, how good is this, guys? And, hey, how good is this setup, eh? Hey, got everything going. Got the chat on the screen. You can see me laughing at Antifa, which is better than nothing, I guess. Maybe it isn't. I'm so sorry, I don't know. But, yeah, so I guess we'd have a quick look at what has happened. So the DHS has formally classified the activities of anti-fascist groups, quote, brackets Antifa, as domestic terrorist violence since early 2016. Holy shit, so that's like a year and a half. So what have they been doing all of this time when they've been out committing domestic terrorist violence? Where have the police been? That's my main problem with all of this, right? I don't really care that Antifa holds ridiculous socialist beliefs. I don't really care that they want to have their propaganda on the web and they even want to coordinate and they want to form in groups. That's fine. My problem is them walking onto the street and then attacking people and smashing things up. That is action. You don't criminalise thought, you criminalise action. And as soon as they start taking action like that, I mean, what the fuck? It's such a no-brainer. I just can't understand why these people haven't been clubbed out of existence by now, by the cops, which is what I would personally be demanding, because that's what the fucking point of the cops is. You can't have let someone else have fucking violence. The state has to have the monopoly. It's the principle of the thing. But anyway, put up a PayPal link. It's just my into the ether at hotmail.co.uk address, I think, if you want to. But thank you again. You honestly, it's not. Let's talk Antifa. And notice me saying I take my fucking money and it's working as far as I can see. Oh, good. Thanks, man, and thank you. I'm gay and you're the father. Oh shit. Okay, all right. So if I give you, I mean, how much a month? Come on, let's come to a settlement. So can we shoot them now? I think the government's going to do it for us. I was the one that bought you the fat porn saga and it was me. Bahaha. Thanks. No, wait. You? Oh, you son of a bitch. Right? My email inbox has been spammed by pictures of fat chicks. It's quite amusing, actually. But damn you. Keep up the good work. Don't let the gulag get you. I'll try not to. Right, let's oh, happy birthday. Thanks, Merc. Thank you. Right, let's actually get some content, because that's more interesting for most people, I'm sure. Right, yeah, so basically everything's going great on the war against Antifa. The Coca-Cola Death Squads are really storming it. Federal authorities have reportedly warned state and local officials the Antifa has become an increasingly confrontational in efforts to thwart white supremacist groups. Really? Not really worried about the white supremacist part, really, are they? It's just literally anyone in their fucking path. Honestly, who was it they were beating the other day? Who the fuck was it? It was just like totally indefensible, and the black guy had to come in and save him. And it's just like, that's not a Nazi, is it? That's not a white supremacist, probably. That's just some dude being beaten by a bunch of masked thugs who claim to have a good fucking reason. It's no, they do not have a good fucking reason. Just for fuck's sake. What this is what pisses me off. It's like, oh, you're drawing a moral equivalence. It's like, no, so far the right-wing groups have been far less bad than Antifa. I mean, who is willing to talk to the media in these events. You know, the Antifa, this is, and I think it's the fact that attacks on journalists have been on the rise with Antifa. That the journalists are finally like, okay, these guys aren't our friends. You know, I'm absolutely certain of it. I've got a bunch of them that I'll go through in a minute. And now they're beating the journalists. But how many journalists have the alt-right beaten? You know, as far as I'm aware, it's 0. You know, and this is the thing. They even Salon.com, for fuck's sake, Canada, fuck off. Even Salon.com has been like, oh yeah, actually it was Antifa starting the violence. Yeah, you damn well right it fucking was. Oh, for the love of fucking God, what can I do about this fucking calendar? Can't seem to turn the fucking thing off. It's like 5 to 1 in the morning. Why bring up all of these notifications now? Anyway. Sorry, it could have all been avoided if we donated to more hand jobs across America. Well, that's probably true. Will you say praise Keck for us? I think I just did. Just sending because, and for helicopters. Ah, well, that's a good point. We are going to need a startup for that. In fact, there are probably going to be multiple startups. There's going to be a lot of competition in the new Coca-Cola Death Squad order. Did I catch Jordan Peterson and Brett Weinstein on Joe Rogan earlier? Yes, I did. Right. Oh, thanks, Bear. And I'm just here to fap. Well, good news for you, I'm not wearing any trousers. I'm actually not. I got begs I couldn't sleep. I just put on a shirt, but I'm not showing you that for your own good. Right. So, newly released document shows authorities believe the anarchist extremists were the main cause of violence at a number of public rallies. Oh, that's probably because of all the video evidence. Seriously, it's like reading something that's just like from last year or something. It just, well, like, yes, this has been the case so obviously for such a long time. It's like, I don't know, talking to children at this point. This is like, oh, this is a revelation. This is what the authorities believe. It's like, couldn't you just see that with your own fucking eyes? Did you really need the DHS to have a document on it to be able to see that? Just this is the problem, right? There's such fucking sheep. And I swear this has been a persistent problem with journalism for the last at least like 5 years, right? Where they would just go, right, what did the government say? This was the official statement. This is the be all and end all, and this is literally truth as reality. It's just reality objectively constructed. That video evidence of whatever contradicts what we just said, don't worry about that. And it's just like, they are such lazy hacks. And they just, they can't help themselves. As soon as, oh, the government said it, well, it's true. And unless it's Donald Trump saying that, and then it's not true by default, even if it is true. Like, the violence is on many sides. Anyone else remember those many sides conversations we've been having? You know, but he said that it also happened on the left. Well, that's what the DHS says too. It's a funny old world, isn't it? It's almost like Donald Trump said something that was true. Crazy. What a world. Seriously though, I don't even care. I'm rather warming to Trump. I love the fact that he's just not backing down with these people. You know, when the press conference, they're like, you know, condemn the alt-right. He's like, but what about the alt-left who came charging at them? Yeah, they fucking did. They fucking did. You know, they always do. They're the ones that start the fights. And good for Trump, man. Good for Trump, and good for just standing up to these people, because they are fucking bullies. You know, and the thing is, Trump's just one dude. You know, when he's like talking to a room full of people, just, you know, arguing them all down, it must be stressful as fuck, especially in your 70s. But he's actually sticking by it. And honestly, I think that's one of the most important things that can happen right now. The media have to understand their personal interests don't supersede the interests of the rest of the nation. And this is what really fucking pisses me off. It's just like, they have decided they are the moral arbiters of society and must take the helm and show everyone else the way. And it's like, okay, that's great. But in the case of, say, open borders, that's actually really not great for the poorest people in society, you selfish cunts. Why are you doing this? Oh, because you think it's the most moral direction. Well, it turns out it's not. Or even if it is, these people are never going to agree to that. You know, they can't afford to pay for your morality. There's such fucking ivory tower syndrome, I swear. So yeah, according to Politico, interviews showed federal authorities became really cognizant of Antifa amid the rise of Donald Trump, and the law enforcement officials have claimed Trump's rhetoric and policies helped catalyze the left-wing extremism in the US. Yeah, I imagine it did. But not because he did something wrong, but because these people are crazy. Trump was rude and brash and boorish, but he wasn't actually saying things that he thought were racist. He wasn't, like, that bad, really. And the fact that the media completely lost its shit and called everyone... I mean, calling him a fascist is incredible. He is demonstrating the limits of the power of the presidency. And they're surprisingly high. You know, he hasn't got much done. Everyone's like, oh, he hasn't got anything done. Well, no shit. You know, he's had literally everyone fighting him. The media pushing conspiracy theories to try and unseat him. And, like, oh, yeah, this, surely, you're just going to be at the point where you're like, right, okay, how much could he get done? How much would you expect he would get done? You know, he signed dozens of executive orders and things. I don't even want to defend Trump. He's like an idiot, and he's worse than an idiot. He's a cunning idiot, and so he knows how to win, but like, he's the worst. And I know I'm not articulating this well either, but it's late and I've been drinking. It's my birthday, shut up. So, like, this is just like, I don't know, I just feel obliged to defend what I see to be the weaker man in the situation. I guess it's just me, but, like, it just looks like Donald Trump is seriously burdened by the weight of the people he has to face. And honestly, I don't blame him, you know? So it's just like, I actually find myself sympathizing somewhat with him. But anyway, so one senior law enforcement official reportedly stated, if it was in that period as the Trump campaign emerged, that we really became aware of them. These Antifa guys were showing up with weapons, shields, bike helmets, bike locks occasionally, and just beating the shit out of people. Yes, they using Molotov cocktails, starting fires, throwing bombs and smashing windows. Yeah, this all sounds really familiar. They must watch my channel or something. Law enforcement officials have apparently been taken aback by the swift rise of Antifa, about which they still have much to learn. Well, there's actually loads of media out there about Antifa because they've been actively recruiting. If you just go and read it, then you will know something about them. And they are literally exactly what they sound like. They aren't lying to you. And that's the thing, most of these groups, oh, we need to go find out what they are. No, they're telling you. They're anarcho-communists. That's what they have a big red and black banner for. They're saying, look, we are for the end of your society and the beginning of the new one. And yes, we will need to shoot a few folks in the process. And yes, everyone's about to get poor. It's just the worst fucking idea. I was just like, what? I mean, I'm trying not to straw man it, but honestly, that is actually what's going to end up happening, though. You know, regardless of that, I mean, that's not going to be the actual argument they give, obviously, but that's just going to be the consequence, the inevitable consequence of what they're advocating for. And it's like, okay, so no matter how fine it sounds when they're making the argument, you're going to end up with these severe problems that are actually not present in our society and much worse than anything else that is actually going on in our society. It's just so stupid. Sorry, I'll read some of this. What's up, dude? Not much. Just doing a stream. Thank you, Nadia. Bear you. I think I might have already thanked you, but okay, never mind. Did you see the video of the Pepsi guy trying to sell peanuts at Berkeley? No. Trying to sell peanuts? Pepsi guy? What? Why would he be trying to sell peanuts? But no, I didn't see that one. Thanks, comments. For your legal defense, thanks. Well, I don't know what's happening yet, so I don't want to set anything up or anything like that, but I mean, you know, it's inevitably something's going to have to happen. But anyway, honestly, I don't know, so, and I don't want to comment because anything I say might hurt my case, I guess. So I don't think it's wise to say anything. But you know, it'll be all right. We'll be okay. They can't take my YouTube channel away, so at the end of the day, you know, I'll always be able to make videos. Unless YouTube shut me down, which is not the least likely thing in the world, is it? But anyway, I'm such an optimist. Well, is that true? I used to like Squatting Slav as well. I enjoyed that channel. Quite annoyed. Enjoyed the fact he would actually go and try and talk to these idiots. fucking unjust, in my opinion. But what can I do? What can I say? So yeah, they say the dynamics of Antifa are complex. It claims they have no leaders or hierarchy, but officials believe members coordinate through decentralized network of cells, Politico reports. Wow, that does sound like a terrorist network, doesn't it? Yes, that's very much how ISIS work, in fact. This is just hilarious to me. Oh dear, Antifa, you finally made it. But yeah, they undoubtedly do. That's the internet. Almost all movements are going to be decentralized these days. The FBI and DHS were reportedly unwilling to elaborate on any of this to Politico, given the materials the publication obtained were never supposed to be publicly disclosed. That's nice. I like that someone within DHS has had to leak this. Why couldn't they just tell us? You know, I mean, I don't know anything about the structure of the DHS or the political leanings of it. But yeah, I don't understand why that had to be kept secret. But it was definitely someone's advantage that was kept secret, and this has definitely been a large defeat for the people who support Antifa. In fact, it paints them in a rather immoral light, and we finally get to address the violence that comes from them. But on this subject, it's worth noting... President Donald Trump controversially blamed the violence that occurred in Charlottesville on many sides and has contended that media hasn't focused enough on the role Antifa played. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Masks, and they've got clubs, and they've got everything. Antifa!
Doesn't really know anything about them, does he? That's a word people like to hear for some reason. But yeah, it's good. It is good that he said something though. I tell you what, right? Lou Levi did a video the other day. Literally, it was about Trump going, look, he's not the brightest tool. It was called the Articulator, I think. Not the brightest tool, but he literally is the only tool we have, and that he's right. I mean, Donald Trump is the best and only tool we have for striking back at the media at the moment. I imagine Stephen Miller will probably do something more entertaining in future as well. Although, no, maybe not more entertaining. I mean, that cosmopolitan bias bit was a hell of a catch. I love that Acosta was arguing government policy on the basis of a 100-year poem. and then Miller catches him being a giant fucking racist. It's amazing. That was the best fucking, just the best interaction. But yeah, seriously, sort of like war against the press class. These people are the best. Trump's the best weapon we've got, and it's gay. I can't believe I find myself quite liking Donald Trump just because he's the only dude who will fucking speak some sense, that has any real power. I mean, honestly, I can't believe that I just fucking more people just deal with the media. You don't have to be polite to them, you know. You just have to not let them, not censor them. That's it. You can be however you fucking want to the media, especially if they're being that way to you, and they fucking are with Trump, you know. And with Farage, he should just do it. Farage should just come out, you know what, fuck the media. You know, who do I disavow? The fucking journalists. They are awful. Honestly, right, the amount of fucking hit pieces that exist out there about me, calling me alt-right and stuff like that, it's like, look, that is so intellectually dishonest. You know, I am honestly staggered that anyone could say things like that I may as well just call you all communists. You know, oh, what are they? Well, they're democratic socialists. No, you mean they're communists. Get in the fucking helicopter. You know, that would be the same thing if I were to do that. It's just, that's the least of it. Sorry. When are you going to do another stream, Jim? Don't know. Whenever he wants. Would you like to see a Trump WWE return? I think that we've gone far bigger than wrestling, man. I mean, this is just like, you can't take your eyes off it, can you? Let's be honest. So yeah, Antifa's overall aim is to resist fascism. No, it's not actually. It's to smash capitalism. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? Their overall aim is actually to overthrow capitalism. You say that. The name itself is fairly explanatory, and it claims to embrace the values of anti-capitalism, anti-racism, and anti-authoritarianism. They're completely against all kinds of hierarchy for any reason, and ownership, and literally anything that makes a society what it actually is. And they think that if the state, or what remains of the state, just owns everything, then somehow we'll be free. Despite the fact that never being the case anywhere ever where these things have been tried. Honestly, it's not so much the immorality of what communists want that actually bothers me. It's the fact that they're wrong. You know, what we want this. Okay, but communism isn't the way to get that. I mean, that is not the way to achieve what you want to achieve. I mean, you know, I wouldn't even mind at one point, you know, where literally nobody had to own anything because everything was just so plentiful and you didn't need to do anything. So people just wouldn't because they didn't need to do it. I wouldn't mind seeing that future. That sounds nice. But that communism just isn't the way to get there. You know, even if that's what you want, you're just not going to find it by being an anarcho-communist. You're never going to make that world happen. It's literally like saying, right, I'm going to run a marathon, like, bang, shoot myself in the foot. And then, okay, you know, you're not fucking running anything now, are you? No, I'm going to the hospital. Yeah, exactly. You're going to the fucking hospital. This is your fucking failures. That's what it is. You know, you can't implement what you're trying to do. So now I'm just looking at you like you're a bunch of fucking morons. You know, it's stupidity. But I got this, right? Why the media refuses to understand Antifa, or they refuse to understand Antifa. They've been persistent apologists for Antifa for the last year and a half. But fuck it, no, they refuse to understand Antifa. Oh my fucking god, man. Right, I've got articles that I'm going to do like something about this in the near future. I've got articles from The Guardian from 2011 where they're just sucking Antifa's dick, going, oh, well, you know, they're not thugs and criminals, they're like doctors and technicians, and it's okay, fucking great. Now you're making them look even worse by making them like fucking spoiled kids, spoiled fucking middle class twats who just go smashing up working class fucking places. But anyway, so yeah, basically this article is whinging that the press has been too harsh on Antifa. So for months, the American public has debated how best to confront the fascist right and its members in an attempt to build power. Now, after being chased out of Boston and the Bay Area, America's white power activists seem to have been on the collective back foot for the first time in over a year. What have they really achieved? You know, like, what have they actually done? I guess the only thing they've done is been the people who are actually going to fight Antifa in the streets. I mean, that is a victory. They did, you know, Berkeley. But, yeah, they have been remarkably outnumbered since then. It has galvanized many people into the field, I'll admit. Not a particularly good precedent, but criminalizing Antifa should help. So, among those on the broadly defined left, the main strategic split with regard to fascists has been between those who favour prevention by any means, oh good, up until including physical confrontation, and those who think it's best to let the marketplace of ideas take care of their worthless ideology. Well, if you think their ideology is worthless, then that will work. And if you think that, but you might not think that their ideology is worthless, because let's be honest, progressives and far leftists seem to be white supremacists with a guilty conscience. They're just like, oh, well, okay, well, we need to help all black people now. We need to just give black people, just generally because they're black. These people are just basically inferior. So we need to give them privileges. We need to give them quotas, affirmative action, we need to have, you know, Black People's Month and stuff like this. It's like, Christ, okay, they must be inferior if that's how you feel about them, and you're the people who fucking care about them. I would have thought that these people, without knowing whether they're black or not, they'd just be like, right, okay, just treat me like a normal person. Just treat me like you would literally treat anyone else around you. Don't fucking make anything special about the fact that I'm not white, and there will be nothing special about the fact that he's not white. You know, it's the only way to end racism. I'm telling you, that is literally the only way racism will ever end. And just and it'll be literally like left-handed discrimination. You know, we used to have all sorts of discriminatory sort of practices against people with left hands, and they were just generally, you know, reviled as sinister people. Now there's nothing. It's an oppression that has gone away, and it's just because nobody really thinks about it. Be the same with race in like 100 years' time, I hope. You know, and literally, if it wasn't for these fucking people pushing race all the time, it would probably be happening now. You know, it just pisses me off. Now that major news channels are reporting on Antifa for this, for some of the stuff they've been talking about, it's like no shit for people who've been following them since the beginning of the year. Yeah, absolutely, Ben. It fucking is, isn't it, man? It's just like, You fucking twats, you know. Sargon the Pragmatic Centrist, thank you for your continued work. Well, I'm not really a pragmatic centrist. I don't even know what that means, really. Like, I'm actually a radical liberal. The change I want to the system at the moment is fucking tremendous. Like, there is so much I want to see changed about the current systems. I am a true radical in the purest sense of the word at this point. It would have to be monumental change to the system, right? I mean, like, there are so many and such phenomenal control that diversity officers have, and the amount of like influence they wield and money they make is actually really terrifying. Like the head one for the BBC is on something like 120 grand a year, and it's just like, what's he do? He oversees diversity. Okay, but why is there a gender and race gap? Good question. You know, these people are actually useless at their jobs because there's always going to be a gap. And it's like, okay, but until the gap's gone, then what have you done? These people are just snake oil merchants. They're salesmen. They're just con artists. It's all fucking nonsense. So yeah, I'm a radical liberal. Just fuck the whole fucking thing. We need to just build it properly. Let's take out all of this race stuff. It's race. Why? Anyway, now blah blah blah. Right, shit. Sorry, come on, you piece of shit. Hi from Russia, Sargon. Keep up the good work uncucking the West. I'm really trying. Healthy West is crucial as a role model for retarded countries like mine. Man, that's something I've been trying to say to people. It's like, look, and this is a point that I think we should be making a lot more. In fact, right? It's like, are there better countries than Western countries? The answer is no. Just ask progressives, where would you rather live? I think that's should be the default question. Where should you rather live? And they would say nowhere. And you'd be like, okay, so what you're saying is we're not perfect enough. And they'll be like, yes. It's like, okay, but let's worry about the people whose conditions actually suck, shall we? You know, if you want to do activism, learn Russian or learn Arabian or learn fucking, you know, Asian, whatever, like Chinese, some variant. Just do something. You know, our societies are going great. You know, they're really, really fucking amazing. People want to come here because they're so good. It's so weird how we can't, like... I mean, it's not even self-aggrandizement. That's a fucking fact. And we're talking relative to these countries that they want to come from, you know? It's not even... I'm not trying to be, like, a chauvinist, but it's just the facts of the matter, isn't it? It's just reality as it appears to actually be from the data. So, you know, just... I wish we could stop whipping ourselves. But yeah, good luck in Russia, man. I hope everything goes good. Praise CAC, yes. Antifa is the future, you fucking fascist. You're a liberal, as we know. Liberals get the blank too. Yep, you and your Rokan Nazis in disguise. Communism is an economic system, you fascist. BLM, ACAB. I don't know what ACAB is, but that was a fucking good comment. Sing the Pakistani national anthem. I can't sing. I've got a blocked nose at the moment for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. Middle of the night, why not? It feels like fucking hay fever as well, which is even stranger at this time of night. Anyway. So, it's important to note that Antifa Free Speech Division does... Oh, what? I missed that. Okay. Call it Antifa versus free speech. A lot of people have changed their position on this in reaction to unfolding events, but the polls have remained intact. Antifa still wants to bash the fash, and free speechers still want to tease the KKK into obscurity like Superman did. Does that make sense? Somehow both sides still think they're right. Well, you're notably wrong by the fact that you're not allowed to just attack people you disagree with. That's just... Sorry, you know, that's just the legal fact of it. You're just not allowed to do that, and for good reason. And if they're not doing anything wrong, which they actually weren't, I mean, they got a permit at Charlottesville and whatnot. You know, I hate to say it, I've got no fucking sympathy for the alt-right and for this tiki torch march. It's the stupidest thing in the world. But, like, you know, let them do it. It's their choice. But, yeah, so it's important to note that Antifa Free Speech Division doesn't split evenly between liberals and the far left. There are capital D Democrats like former Congressman John Dingell, who tweeted, "I signed up to fight Nazis 73 years ago. I'll do it again if I have to." Dude, that... Holy shit. You don't understand. This is just... Oh, Jesus. It's nothing like that. These people... Right. John, right, I hate that... Okay, like, right. The Nazis had lots of intelligent people. Lots of them. And they were very aware of what it was they were doing while creating the Nazi state, right? These people don't have lots of intelligent people. On both sides, many sides, don't have lots of intelligent people. So there are a lot of people there who just literally don't know really what they're doing. And they're not thinking very far ahead or very deeply. And I mean that on many sides. And I know, and the thing is, they both convince themselves that they are. But yeah, so... The free speech crowd certainly does know how to speak, and their central success has been in publishing articles that reinforce the idea that Antifa scares away allies and emboldens the right. Well, it does seem to be the case. These pundits clearly do speak for a segment of the population, and it's possible that black bloc outfits and videos of street fighting, touted incessantly by right-wing media, those pesky right-wing media, if it wasn't for you, meddling media, are turning them away from the anti-fascist cause. Yeah, it is entirely possible looking like ISIS and then beating anyone who gets in your way, including journalists, is turning people away from the anti-fascist cause. Brilliant observation. It only took you a year and a half being treated like terrorists by the fucking government. You know, you've just worked it out. It's amazing. Look, right, if you ever have to fucking have any kind of demonstration at all, never dress all in black with your face covered. Don't bring a banner that's basically the same colour as a Nazi banner. You know, there are loads of things you can do to not make yourselves look like terrorists. Just basic PR. I wouldn't even care either, but it's making you look bad. Yeah. So the more alienated these observers feel, the more correct they consider themselves in condemning Antifa. But Antifa isn't trying to earn the support of 51% of any electorate. Our main concern is winning, and we don't need nearly that many people to do it. Okay, that's rather terrifying, isn't it? Let's be honest. Your main concern is winning, but your main goal is destroying our societies. Overthrowing capitalism, making sure that nobody has any property rights, nobody has any right to self-ownership, everyone is going to have their entire lives dictated by the state, and it's going to be done by people who are in the mindset that everyone still works in a fucking factory. This is another thing that really fucking annoys me about the socialists. Oh, well, the industrial labourers... Yeah, like, fucking... There are no industrial labourers. Fucking barely. You know, the most people are in service industries. You know? They're not actually suffering in terrible conditions. They're at an office desk, in an air-conditioned office, and they're being paid somewhere around 23 grand a year. It's not the end of the world. They're not they're not industrial workers who are being oppressed at, like, pennies a day. They can change jobs whenever they want. It's so, like, it's not the fucking same, you fucking idiots. But, sorry, I'll answer some questions. Do you think Antifa will just fizzle out eventually like Occupy? No, I don't think it's going to fizzle out. I think that they're going to want to take to the streets, to show that they're not afraid, because they don't like the government, any government, and presumably the government, using the fascist police, beat the shit out of them. And after beating the shit out of them successfully, then I think Antifa will lose support. And I think people will basically be too afraid to go and actually get clubbed by the cops. Because I think the reason they're doing most of this is because the cops aren't intervening. And that's emboldening them. And I think that if the cops just kicked their ass on the first day, then none of this would have happened. To be honest. Right. Why don't these cities just make it illegal to counter-protest within 10 miles of a sanctioned protest, stops conflict and keep free speech? Don't know, there might be like a particular rule that says you can't say where people can counter-protest or something, or protest. I don't know. Is there Antifa in the UK? Yeah, but it's a lot smaller. But it does exist, you know. It's worse than Europe and like Germany, obviously. There are like tens of thousands of people. Matching Shauna has the nation because she has internalized misogyny. Kill all white people. Communism will unite people of colour against whitey fuck capitalism. Get in the helicopter. Thanks, Danny. Right, so they keep going on and on. Was there something else in the article that was funny? Oh, there was, actually. This was good. So, luckily, the free speech side is right about one thing. Fascists are not a dominant force in American politics. Oh, well, if the fascists aren't a dominant force in American politics, that kind of undermines all of your excuses for doing all of this. Fascism's taking over. Oh, wait, no, it's not. You fucking morons. You absolute morons. And finally, after a year and a half, you finally are getting branded a terrorist organisation. You have to suddenly be like, right, okay, maybe there aren't fascists under every rock, you know, behind every tree. You know, maybe when I go into the grocery store, I'm not surrounded by fascists. Fucking amazing that you can finally see this. Well done. Their West Wing access notwithstanding, right? I do not think that Richard Spencer or anyone else from the alt-right actually has a line to Trump. I mean, Spencer has said he hasn't in multiple interviews and appearances. So I'm presuming that they don't. You know, there's no reason for them to think they do. I mean, they might. Who knows? You know, who fucking knows? Maybe they do. Backroom meetings with Donald Trump every weekend or something. Who fucking knows? But, like, you know, there's no reason to think they do. And there's no reason to think that Trump would need them. You know, they're not actually that big of a group. I think there's probably about, I don't know, 100,000 people in the alt-right at the most. And I think that would be a generous estimate, to be honest. But seriously, I don't think it's that big. And I mean, it might be growing, but I honestly don't see it being that big. I think the thing is, the activists are really engaged. But there are more of them than there are feminists, so I can see why the feminists are probably thinking, fuck, they're everywhere, they're all around us. They are paranoid and delusional, though. So yeah, if we want to make them feel deeply unwelcome and vastly outnumbered, anti-fascists don't need everyone on the left of the KKK to show up ready to throw down. I love this. They're literally just pointing out, look, we are actually representing the majority here. So for us to act like we're an oppressed group, being oppressed by the government, when a bunch of you are like at government-funded universities and stuff like this, it's just like, it's LARPing. It's actually fucking stupid. It's fuck. I mean, just like, just on the face of it. But anyway, it means we're talking about minor league baseball attendance in numbers tops. And I don't mean 10,000 person black bloc. A small militant corps can protect a broad diversity of anti-fascists. Again, I don't see the alt-right starting the fights. You know, honestly, they're the ones I see talking to the media while the Antifa people are attacking the media. Sorry, I don't know what the fuck's going on with my nose. But yeah, it's ridiculous. It's this world where they are just literally the good guys by default, and that's honestly how I think their mindset is. It's just actually really infuriating. I find them way more infuriating than the alt-right. You know, the alt-right, like, yeah, okay, let's be honest, we're kind of like Nazis. It's like, okay, great. Okay, that's something I'm obviously going to completely oppose, and I will literally give you a detailed philosophical breakdown of why. There are so many things wrong with what you've suggested here, and will radically change our societies and will make them worse, elevating the purpose of the state to the protection of the group rather than the individual, which means that we're all pretty much fucked, or it could be any one of us. So fucking let's not do this. You know, there must be another solution to whatever problems that you feel you have. And I'm not going to carry on because it's just there are just so many problems with what they're saying, though. I just can't agree to any of it. And no, this is I'm just some fucking radical liberal at this point. I just don't have any better word for it or a better phrase for it. I don't like the phrase skeptic. It's like, well, it doesn't describe anything. It describes literally everyone. I actually have normative political values that I want to put across, and I don't like being called a centrist either. So, well, I don't know. Maybe, I'm more thinking in terms of political philosophies that I want to see dominant in my country. I really don't care about left and right at this point. It's like I literally just care about, like, where is this ideology coming from? And the distinction is basically, is it coming from England or Germany? And if it's coming from Germany, the answer is no. If it's coming from England, the answer is yes, or France. Sometimes. It just, seriously, that's the root and essence of it now. It always has been, obviously, but I finally understand, like, the difference. I've got to say, it was an enlightening book that Peikoff wrote. So Wins-a-Lot is a cuck. Yeah, I hear that, actually. Comments. Poop play moo.io. Okay. Excuse me, Carl, I'm a press factory worker. I operate a large machine for $24 an hour. Holy fucking shit. 12 hours a day, 3-4 days a week. My full benefits and bonuses are fucking impressive too. Well, I have to say, it looks like capitalism has really improved the life of factory workers. Now that they're not doing it with your hands, doing it with a robot is clearly far more profitable. God damn you, capitalism. That's the thing I love about it, is that capitalism changed and they just assumed it would stay like the 19th century all the time. Nesby Senpai 524 on Gab. Good luck with the lawsuit. Thanks, man. Remember how everyone was talking about Scientology 5 years ago, and now no one is. Coincidence? Antifa uses many of the same psychological warfare. Well, yeah, I think they're going to get basically sidelined in the same way, because the thing is, the public sees what happens. It doesn't matter about the fucking damage control. And by, over a long enough period of time, it's going to be like, yeah, it's going to be well known that these people are weird. And that's going to be how progressivism becomes, I think. I hope, if we're lucky. Hey, I don't know about amumu.io, but I don't think I'm going to continue saying that. I've been watching content since 2012, always loved your work, keep it up. I hope everything works out. It's the wall for you. Yeah, it probably is, isn't it? It's fine. I'll take the risk. Just throw you some love, great leader, Shadley. What do you think of the notion that SJW culture is the result of a society and culture that is too safe and too insulated from real hardship? It absolutely is. A society like this couldn't exist in a third world country. This is first world problems manifested as a political movement. It's mental. Honestly, just get off yourself. Like, I spent 6 years teaching myself how to program a game when I was working various jobs and stuff like this, and I made a bunch of fucking prototypes and stuff like that. And if the team I was working with hadn't fallen apart, I probably would have actually released the game, and I still would like to at some point in the future. And it's one of those things, like, I sat there and I just remember just the long fucking hours. All right, and seriously, I had a CRT monitor 6 years ago because I'm the sort of person who's cheap. And I would be honestly fucking hunched over this 17-inch CRT monitor teaching myself to program, and it was loads of fucking work, but it was worth it. And by the end of it, I was actually starting to be able to produce some stuff that was alright. And yeah, and I'm just thinking, okay, I didn't actually make up any money out of it because I ended up doing this instead, but it's not like I hadn't worked for it, even though I didn't actually make any money out of it. It's one of those things. It's like I'm just annoyed because when I was before I'd done anything, and I literally spent my 20s doing nothing, I didn't in any way think that I was entitled to someone else's wealth. I mean, I was sat there thinking, right, okay, well, I've just literally done nothing with my life, and therefore I deserve to be poor because I've literally done nothing with my life but worked basic bitch jobs, and so I just can't stand the mindset of it. It's like, you don't deserve something someone else made. Happy birthday. Yeah, it is my birthday. Thank you. What's my favourite brandy? I don't know any brands of brandy, I'm afraid. Just whatever. Just give me a brandy. I like brandy, though. For those keeping up, we have filed papers to dissolve the church as a legal entity. That's from the Church of CAG. Okay. Hey Sargon, I'm a poor soul living in ultra-liberal Madison. Wisconsin, I think. Think about attending Mythicist Milwaukee. You shouldn't have sent me money then. Yeah, that'd be cool, man. I'll meet people afterwards, I'm sure. You know, I figure I'll just go to a bar or something and we can just talk about stuff. You know, I'm in Swindon for a few weeks. Keen for a beer on me? Maybe. Gave you one at the Shitlords meetup. But I'll let you be swarmed by people. Yeah, I mean, maybe. It depends whether I'm around or not. It depends what's happening, you know. Sogners, I was just redeployed from some shithole in the Middle East. You helped me stay informed and entertained. I can't thank you enough. I owe you a bottle of scotch. No, you don't owe me a bottle of scotch. But thanks for watching. Why do you public works like the Rail in UK work and profit, but all fail in the US? Good luck with the lawsuit. I have no idea. I would have to look into it. Let me help you finish Necromancer. Happy birthday. To be honest with you, Neeraj, I actually did finish Necromancer. I just really was not happy with the result. Because by the end of it was just me making it, and I put it together as best I could, but it was, you know, just me doing it, so I was just like, no, it wasn't very good. And I wanted to remake the whole thing, but then I'd rather remake an entirely different game that I actually have a better idea for. Kind of the same, but better and different. I'm not sure how much this is in BritBucks. Well, probably with the exchange rate, probably about the same now. But fucking hell, $100? Man, come on, stop it. I'm supposed to actually be reading things fuck out. Many thanks to the mind-expanding discussion that I've been able to share with people I care about. I wish you luck with your future endeavours and hardships. Chalet Madu. Thanks very much, man. No, seriously, that's really kind. And Merc, speaking of Mythicist, do you want mead or absinthe? I'm actually not a big fan of either, because they're kind of weirdly sweet. A friend of mine bought me mead, and it was okay, but it's a bit much, and I certainly couldn't drink much of it. But yeah, and thank you, Tin Man. Right, okay, I'm going to read some stuff because I really feel like I should be doing some fucking work. This is the thing, man. I swear, when you're working for yourself, right? You are constantly looking, or at least I am constantly looking for opportunities. My wife's always annoyed because I'm on my phone, and what I'm basically doing is, like, you know, scrolling, finding information, just literally grazing the internet for information, and then just sending it to myself. And so I, you know, when I get back to my computer, I can sit there and just pull up a bunch of links about stuff that I want to think about and, like, you know, see what was in. And yeah, that's basically how I do this. I'm just gathering information, you know. And then you just have to, you know, put it together and see what's in it. But yeah, this is just okay. This is boring me. So here's what Antifa have to say about Berkeley, apparently.
New at noon, we are getting a look at some of the people arrested in Berkeley over the weekend. KPIX5's Jessica Flores explains why organizers are defending the violent reaction.
Get out of here, Trump! Our cameras captured Trump supporters being chased out of Berkeley, and so-called anti-fascist groups and right-wing demonstrators clashing, when a peaceful counter-protest against racism turned violent. But today, the counter-protest organizers are defending what happened at MLK Civic Center Park on Sunday.
And we have no regrets for how they left our city. We do not want white supremacists in our city. We do not want neo-Nazis in our city. We do not want the alt-right in their city.
The organizers say the people wearing black masks, or so-called Antifa, who vastly outnumbered the Trump supporters, provided protection to counter-protesters.
Our experience on the streets was that we were defended by people who came as anti-fascists to do that.
We don't apologize for any of it. Do not come here with it. Do not. It is unwelcome. We have a right and an obligation to self-defense, period, point blank.
The Berkeley police chief says seeing the Antifa folks mixed in with the peaceful demonstration is troubling.
As far as I'm concerned, there's some deep discussions that need to happen within our community about providing space for Antifa and some of the folks that we saw. Smaller number, but considerable number of folks that we saw here today.
Berkeley police tell us that 13 people were arrested here at MLK Civic Center Park, and the National Lawyers Guild today signaled that it could be legally defending some of those people. Reporting in Berkeley, I'm Jessica Flores, KPIX.
It's interesting how they're mingling amongst the normies. The thing about it that really does annoy me, though, is that the majority of these people are okay with it. You know, it's weird, the defense of these people. They're like, we're liberals, yeah? Well, who are they? Well, anarcho-communists or something. Oh. Doesn't that kind of put you at odds? You know? But they're not. They're basically just socialists now. And seriously, I'm not joking. I know that sounds like, oh, wow, you can't say that. But, I mean, if you're an intersectionalist, you basically are a socialist if you believe in intersectionalism. Because they have the Marxist view of economics. Like, they have a Marxist view of everything else. Like gender dynamics, race dynamics, any of these subjects that intersect. It's all through the Marxist lens. So it's just, they're not going to be anything other than socialists. Of course they're not going to be liberals. Why would they be? You know, I don't see why we'd expect them to be. And that's millions of people who don't even really know what socialism is, and that they're basically socialists, and they think they are liberals. And so we effectively have to explain that to them, I think. But yeah, sorry. For all the entertainment I get from content, oh, thanks, man. At least someone gets to laugh at me. I was deployed. Sorry, I saw that one already. It's a point of me, thanks. Yeah, I'd recommend grabbing Little Raymond. Oh, fuck hell, man. Enjoy one of me, thanks, man. Black Pigeon cited the fake College of American Pediatricians, which I was mad at you for. Oh, I remember you, man. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have cited them, to be fair. They're fucking medical doctors, though. Come on. And they were probably right as well. You know, okay, yeah, I hold my hands up. Yeah, I shouldn't have done it, but at least it wasn't fake information. Fake people saying something was true. But yeah, I know. So thanks, man. Comedy scene in Milwaukee. What kinds of cigars do you like? I quite like Cuban cigars. Actually, I do quite like Cuban. There was there was another type I quite like from like I don't know, Peru or something. But they were quite nice too. Some South American ones. There's probably loads. I'm no expert on cigars. So yeah, I was just looking through some verified lefties Twitter, like Alternet. That's perfect. That's incredibly far left, incredibly. And there's been some salt. There was a few hours ago. I'd find it. Oh, they're talking about Russia again. Brilliant. Okay. Now they're just trying to make Trump look bad, right? Come on, where's the fucking salt? Here we go. Let's be clear. If you attack Antifa while Trump, the FBI, and the DHS are trying to absurdly classify it as a terrorist, you're helping fascism. That's what a communist would say. That's exactly what you would say, because for you, it's literally all or nothing. That's just all it is. You have to be one or the other in the communist worldview. Everyone who isn't a communist is an enemy. Everyone who isn't a fascist is an enemy. And I guess everyone who isn't liberal is an enemy, if that's how it's got to go. You know, if you're literally going to be, oh, well, you're helping fucking fascism. You fucking idiots create fascists all day, every day. I mean, listen to Jared Taylor. Just listen to him say, yeah, our enemies couldn't be, I can't even do the accent, but they couldn't be doing anything better. They're driving people into our arms. It's like, they probably are. If I saw a bunch of communists masked in the street, and I was like, I didn't have a platform with which to speak, and I wanted to join a group that actually wanted to do something about it, at least say something about this, and have an amplified voice, yeah, I'd probably fucking join a group like that too. You know, who the fucking wouldn't? You want to know that people understand that you're not going to stand for these fucking communists running around the street trying to overthrow the fucking state. And that is literally what they're trying to do. That's what they want. That's their fucking end goal. This whole, oh, we're just anti-fascist. No, shut your fucking mouths. You can't stop yourselves from going, oh, by the way, we also want to get rid of capitalism. All right, yeah, but we don't. You know, literally everyone else doesn't. You know, people can't imagine living without it. Like, this is something you always complain about. Oh, you can't imagine living without capitalism. Yeah, that's because it's so intrinsic to their personalities, because it's tied into the concept of freedom. Economic freedom, as in the government doesn't own what you've created. No one else does. You know, that's the point. It's just yours. And it's just like, why is this something that you have to do away with? It just drives me crazy. Happy birthday. My question: what would you recommend to someone who's looking to start their own channel? How did you get successful? I don't know. I honestly don't know why people subscribe to my channel. So, honestly, if I knew, I'd write a book. Honestly, I totally would. I don't know. I just work. Just fucking work. Just spend your time working, finding the information that actually you need, you know, like figure out what the hell is actually going on like an ideological level, and then you can you know what to look for, and you know what they're going to do, you know, and so when they end up doing it, right, okay, yeah, predicted, you know, they're just going to carry on doing things, and this is how, like, you can build a coherent picture of their pattern of behavior because of what's in their head making them do it. You know, this is I don't understand, like, why this isn't something that we can predict with more, like, certainty. You know, like, okay, they're radical socialists. What do they want to do? Yeah, they overthrow the state. Okay, they want to take away people's freedom. Okay, the answer's no. You know, why would we? We're not going to even argue that. I mean, literally, they end up doing shit like, oh well, what is it? Halfway between communism or fascism? It's like, how much fascism do you want? It's like, well, none. But I don't want any communism either. So fucking, you know, it's so weird how you think you need to be included in the picture as well. But anyway, let's have a look at Dan RL. Communist agenda. 7 a.m. Nationalize all public infrastructure and natural resources. 8 a.m. Drop kids off at high quality public school for all. Where has that ever fucking happened? And don't say Cuba, you lying shits. Oh, the literacy rate. Oh yeah, capitalist countries, just no one can read. That's the problem that we have here. Literally, no one, I mean, like, you know, 5% literacy rate. Fuck you. Oh, look at this! Look at this, Dan RL. Right, real anti-fascists should begin outlawing Antifa thugs, unmask them, shame them, right? Totally fucking agree. I don't even know who Eli Lake is. Totally fucking agree, right? Because fascist is what we're saying as a description of their fucking actions, right? They absolutely are. You know, shutting down free speech, committing political violence against people who probably aren't even, or at least unknowingly, their opponents. You know, just... But this guy, Dan RL, when you're trying to help the fascists win, centrism is a disease. Dan, you are not overthrowing anything. You can get fucked, you twat. I'm sorry, just... You are a fucking idiot. And... I'm so sorry. Like, I don't understand how you can be so far left that you're literally going centrism is a disease. You can't honestly think that you're going to bring in, like, the perfect socialist utopia. Have you seen yourself? Like, could you start with a system that's not utopian, Dan? Is that an idea? You fucking... Do you think you're the guy? You know, is that what you think? I mean, who do you think is the guy? Point to the guy, Dan. Point to the person you think is going to bring in true communism. You know, see, that's another thing I like about liberalism. It doesn't require me to be perfect. I just like, yeah, just be okay. That's it. Low standards. Anyone can be okay, Dan. When you're glad you're sticking up for genocide. Oh, what happened? Oh, sad that a Christopher Columbus statue was vandalized. Yeah, that's fucking woke take, isn't it? Don't get me wrong, Columbus wasn't exactly a good guy, but that's not exactly why they venerate him, is it? You know, oh, God, no one's allowed their societal myths anymore. There have been more major media think pieces on Antifa violence than acts of Antifa violence. Well, I'm calling bullshit on that. How many bike clocks is too many? That's all I'm saying. Just KKK. Oh, this is exactly what I was talking about. KKK, we want a white ethno-state. Person of colour, fuck you. Centrist pops out of trash can. This demonisation of centrists. 18,000 fucking retweets. 54,000 likes. Centrist pops out of trash can. You didn't even give them a chance to explain their reasoning. Dipshit. If we let them explain their reasoning, we can explain to them why they're wrong. Don't you want them to stop saying the things that they're saying? Don't you want them to think differently? Because you're not going to change their mind unless you actually hear them out and address their argument on its own merits. For the love of God. But this is the thing, you're fucking totalitarians. You just want to shut your opponents up. This fucking, you guys, right, getting the Coca-Cola death squads, just, they're going to have lovely red helicopters. The Coca-Cola fucking colours. Fucking magnificent. A man can dream. Honestly, Coca-Cola death squads, just come on, man. You know, we're not actually going to make a moral equivalence, are we? But anyway, people still scratching their heads over whether right-wing attendees of the Berkeley rally were racist. Who gives a shit? Let's just assume they were all racist, you dumbass. Okay, let's just assume that literally everyone racist was a racist. I mean, I imagine most of the Antifa people are racist as well, to be honest. And presumably people who are effectively white supremacists with the guilt complex. So, what difference does it make? They've still got the right not to get attacked by a bunch of masked fucking thugs. It doesn't matter if they're racist or not. Honestly, it's just it's an asinine thing to ask. Not your grandfather's anti-fascism. Anti-fascism has arrived. Here's where it needs to go. Oh. That was a day ago. That was good timing, wasn't it? Look, Antifa are on the rise. By the way, you're terrorists. Oh, man. Let's have a look, shall we? Right. It's the first time hearing about crime thing. Yeah, it is. Okay. I live without dead time. Who we are and what we do. Okay, go on. Crime think is everything that evades control. The daydream in the classroom, the renegade breaking ranks, the spray-painted walls that continue to speak even under martial law. It is the persistent sense that things could be otherwise, that there is nothing natural or inevitable about the prevailing social order. You are damn fucking right. There is nothing natural or inevitable about the prevailing social order. You ungrateful shit. It took hundreds of years and gallons of blood to get to a position where individual rights were the purpose of the fucking state. There's been a titanic struggle throughout all of human history to get the value of the individual fucking recognized, and you cunts want to just throw that all away. It's disgraceful. It's fucking disgraceful. Go back to Germany if that's what you want. Seriously, it's fucking horrendous to me, right? And it just like, oh, yeah, like we haven't built the perfect world, therefore fuck this one. It's like, no, it's really way better than the alternative, which we have seen played out multiple times. You know, I don't think we're going to do any better or any different. I think it'll just fail in the same way, basically. But in a world optimized for administration, and don't get me wrong, and the thing is, right, having to defend capitalism, I'm really genuinely not like one of nature's defenders of like just unregulated, completely unregulated capitalism, because I think that, you know, global big businesses have a really detrimental effect. I like to see small businesses, you know. I have many criticisms, and I think that, you know, there are regulations that we could use for that would be like not protectionist, but just take the teeth out of the size of global corporations. Just do something, you know, because we can't, you know, well, it is changing over time. But, I don't know, it was probably remnants of my socialist past coming back. But there's a part of me that thinks, okay, yeah, fine, something has to be done. And there are things that we can do. And not even necessarily even regulation. There can just be like, people can be aware of how they operate and the things they buy and where from, blah, blah, blah. Responsible consumers, I guess. Not that I particularly want to think of myself like that. That sounds horrible. But yeah, just these people that like, it's too much of a risk. They don't seem to understand it. But anyway, in a world optimized for administration, everything that cannot be classified and displayed on screen is a crime thing. No. It is the spirit of rebellion without which freedom is literally unthinkable. What are you fucking talking about? I mean, in what way could you ever look at any socialist regime and say that's freedom? I mean, you just... what is it, the gulags? Is it secret police? Dictators? I mean, look, and it literally happens every fucking time. Is it just land appropriation? Like, I'm going to do a video talking about Venezuela through the meme of, like, the SpongeBob SquarePants meme or something with the purple thing or whatever. I don't know. I don't watch these fucking shows. But it's some, you know, evil guy giving the peace paper, is this your socialist state that's failed or whatever? And I'm going to go through them and just literally explain, look, this is the failure of communication with it. And it honestly is socialism's fault. Because to have what they would consider to be successful socialism requires literally everything in the country to be nationalised at once, which would be probably hugely ruinous to the economy, to be honest. But either way, like, that's the best they're going to do. And so it's like, yeah, therefore it is failing capitalism, because socialism is a giant cancer in it that's taking up loads and loads of breathing room. It's just like, I've got a list from like 2011 of what Chavez nationalized, and it literally fucking everything. You know? Like, it's the forest, the farmlands, the fucking oil, all like huge industries, and like steel industry. You know, it's like, holy shit, dude. You've really, I mean, he was socialist as fuck. The idea that Venezuela is not a socialist state being run by socialists is only because the socialists aren't good enough to make it a fully socialist state. So far, they have to have some capitalism, because otherwise their economy is going to collapse. And, oh wait, they took up too much and the economy's collapsed. Well, there we go. I know that's a simplistic way of putting Venezuela, but I'm sorry, it's just... And I know that Venezuela wasn't exactly doing great beforehand, but this has just obviously accelerated a decline into a dictatorship. You know, maybe it was the vulnerable position of Venezuela when it started going socialist that was the problem. But, I mean, maybe it just, like, accelerated the process. But it's always the same. It's always the fucking same. And I hate to have to go on about socialism all the time. It actually bothers me how popular socialism is. It's as if it's a moral position. It's like, but it's going to lead everything to ruin. Just is that moral? I didn't consider that moral. But anyway, so yeah, they've got silly things that are. I mean, the thing is, all of this is literally, it's the daydream in the classroom. Okay, yeah. But the problem with the daydream in the classroom is that can't be the system, can it? You fucking moron. You know, the daydream in the classroom was what I was doing when I wasn't doing work. And unfortunately, I went to Bristol, I think it was, probably about a year ago now. And we went under like an old guild or something like that. And it had a plaque on. It was you know, one of the old buildings they have in these old cities. It might have been Bath, I can't remember. But it had this little plaque on. It just said nothing without work. And it was just like, that's a really good point. You know, you literally, you'll have nothing if all you do is daydream in the classroom. I mean, it's like, just the essence of, like everything that we have is through our own industry and our own labour and our own, and it like, to market yourself as like daydream in a classroom, you know, it's like, that's not a thing. That's an anti-thing in the real world. The time I spend daydreaming is the time I spend not creating, and if I'm spending not creating, then there is nothing. So it's all in my head until I put it into practice. So I mean, this is just not, this is the thing, I honestly feel like I have to try and persuade people out of this, just on whatever means possible. Just like, look, this is nonsense. This isn't going to work anywhere ever. But anyway, then everything else. It is pretty fucking late. I probably should go to bed. And I'm pretty hammered. Oh yeah, that was okay, so yeah, there's journalists being beaten up, which is why I think that this is something they care about now. And even this fucking Slate has a masked anarchist attack pro-Trump's demonstrators in Berkeley. Look, you've dug your own fucking graves. You've done this to yourselves. You are the architects of all of this, of Slate.com. One of the fucking leftist of lefty publications going, yeah, okay, maybe you've gone too far, maybe you're a fucking bunch of terrorists. Fucking female reporter for The Hill allegedly punched by Antifa protester in Charlottesville. Good look. That's very feminist, and that is perfect. Quintessentially, you're not respecting any kind of authority or any kind of independence or even the gender roles involved by socking a woman in the face. Good job. Just great optics on that. Fucking morons. Oh, what's that? CNN's Jake Tapper. People need to know that Antifa has assaulted a number of journalists. Oh, I wonder why the media's turned on you. That was good public relations as well. Maybe what we'll do, the media actually covers for us all the time. Oh yeah, that's nice of them. Yeah, they write puff pieces about us. Not this one, obviously, but they write puff pieces about us. They never really give us a hard time, and they hate the right wingers. Great. What are we going to do? Attack the journalists. That's what I'm going to do. Fuck these journalists. It's like, might have an issue with that. Yeah, but that just strikes me as being really fucking silly. And this is the thing. The alt-right, it's all they can do is condemn the message with the alt-right. Like most of the time. This is the thing, like most, obviously the car death notwithstanding, but that wasn't all of them, unless you're saying it was conspiracy in the alt-right, and I don't think that that's the case. These people are only saying things most of the time. The journalists come up to them, they give an interview, they go away, and they say, okay, this person wants a white ethnicity or whatever, and people go, right, okay, we're not having that, and okay. That's at least they've had to say their message. People have had, the reception to the message. Fine, no problem. People can make up their own fucking minds. Antifa won't even let journalists film them. They will attack the journalists, steal their cameras, and now it's like, and then we're talking big time journalists. So it's just like, okay, you dug your own grave, you fucking morons. And not only that, the 300,000 odd petition to the White House. I mean, this could well be laying the groundwork for sort of like an official condemnation and, I don't know, some sort of legal action taken. I presume something's going to happen, because it looks too big a deal to not, doesn't it? New York Times reporter admits Antifa protests in Charlottesville were hate-filled and violent before left forces her to backtrack. I saw club-wielding Antifa beating white nationalists led out of the park. Wow, that's really peaceful. Movement for peace. It's good to know. It's probably just evil right-wing propaganda, isn't it? Don't worry about the videos. It's just right-wing propaganda, guys. Don't worry about it. Hey Sargon, fucking love content from rely on you. Jordan Peterson and other alt media sources. Please keep making amazing content. Some cake fan from communist California. Man, I feel your pain. But thank you. And yeah, seriously, there are loads of great channels, right? Okay, so I really like these are the channels that I've been watching the most of recently. Let me find my fucking browser history. Do I not have... What? I thought you had a fucking video history that you'd watched. Okay, I guess I fucking don't. Okay, I'll just go through my subscriptions. So I love Dr. Random Cam. I watch literally every one of his videos because I love the way he delivers his rhetoric. It's just beautiful to me. I watch all of these videos because he does actually say things that are important to hear. It's just he just delivers them like a crazy gypsy. But I like that. So I've been watching The Distributist recently. He did a breakdown on the alt-right. Some basically like the movement as a whole and like its goals, its methods, and it's been a very interesting series. Don't feel he characterized me exactly as I am, but it's just me. But yeah, so who else? I'm trying to be specific to smaller YouTubers. I watch Lou Levi's videos as well. And I know I hang out with these guys all the time, but I actually do watch their videos too because I like the content. But yeah, I love Louis' rants. He's got a video called the lunatic left and the limp dick right, and he's just going off. And I'm just like, man, I fucking love it. I just love the way he's so earnest and so angry at the system. It's the honesty in the shout. I don't know why I enjoy it so much. I have actually been watching Atheism as Unstoppables videos recently. He's quite funny, to be fair. I love watching him going at Hassan Piker with the tiny head. Don't know why. It's just, it looks like it fits. All Kraut's videos, obviously, he's been doing some interesting stuff. I've been watching... Oh, I've actually got a hangout tomorrow with the Rageaholic, Raise Fist. Which is cool. I watch all of his videos as well. Really like them. And I really like... he's just one of those fucking kind of guys just easy to get along with, man. I just like that. You can have a conversation with him about shit. Happy birthday, Sargon. You've helped me through some tough times. Is Sweden a socialist state like everyone always says? No. It's a free market economy. It just has a large welfare state because they can afford it. But it's not a socialist state. They didn't like just start seizing property to make it. This is the thing that the Prime Minister of Denmark had to come out and rebuke Bernie Sanders over. Any meetup in the near future? Yeah, in Milwaukee. Mythicist, MythCon. So yeah, who else do I watch? I'm trying to think. Gary Edwards, I watch all the time as well. Him and Academic Agent. Their exchange over basically capitalism, which is the thing that they both disagree on. Well, at least one of the things. Their exchange was really interesting and cumulative in the live show that we did. It was really good, really illuminating, and just it's interesting to hear their positions, like in this sort of depth, you know. I watched a video by Aaron Ra the other day where he was talking about him being a political exile or something like that, and I was just like, look, dude, if you didn't just come out and say, you know, if you're not a feminist, you're a sexist, then nobody would care, because you're not the sort of like man-hating white, well, presumably not that I've seen, the man-hating type. You're just an idiot who doesn't really understand feminism, or it certainly doesn't understand intersectionality. And he's not an idiot either. It's just, you know, if you can't see how that's an issue, feminist is an identity and a label. You know, it comes along with a huge fucking baggage with it. But anyway, yeah, I watch Matt Christiansen's videos all the time. He's good. He's very good, actually. Dr. Lehman, I watch him. There's a bunch of other people. Baz Battles is fucking amazing. That is honestly the one. And Caspian Report as well, actually. Both really fucking great channels. Baz Battles does animated historical battles, and they're really good. And the Caspian Report does geopolitical analysis, which is really good as well. It's definitely worth your time, actually. I watch Owen Jones a lot because I like hearing what he has to say. I like Mouthy Buddha a lot. Count Dankula I watch because he's funny. The Traps are gay. No, I don't think you can just say Traps aren't gay. It's too. No, I'm not even sure. It's just it's a metaphysical conundrum. And I've run out of tea. Goddamn. Yeah, Stick Sex and Hammer. I'm just going through my fucking subs. Sorry. I know, what a fucking shit stream, right? But look, this is what you get when I stream at 2 a.m. I've got another bottle of beer over there, but I can't both go get it. Good luck at Mythos Milwaukee. Thanks. I bought a VIP ticket, so I hope it turns out well. Me too. What exactly do you plan on discussing? I don't know, actually. It's kind of vague. So I'll be discussing socio-political environment, basically intersectionalism invading the rest of the world, I imagine. And I don't really know how it's going to go, but I assume we're going to just talk about that. And so, I mean, I'm fine to talk about that, obviously. You know? And I'm hoping you could, I want to actually have a proper discussion with him as well. So he seems like a really nice guy, you know, which is great. And he seems really reasonable as well. So I listened to a bunch of his podcasts, and yeah, I disagree with his positions, but at least I think he'll be able to reason it out with me and take me through how he understands it, and I can hopefully do the same and just see if, you know, we can understand why there's a difference. Because I think we operate from very similar premises, and I want to know how he's interpreting these things differently to me. Thanks, Gekstani Deep State. I felt like there should be echoes on that for some reason. I can't give much since you convinced me out of, but since I can't give much, but since you convinced me out of communism a few years ago, I feel I have to thank you in some way. You don't have to do anything, but thank you. But yeah, I'm just more glad you left communism. Yeah, I just don't feel it works. So, do you have a list of recommended reading in history or philosophy? If so, could you share? Yeah, I should do a video on it, really. The one I'm working on at the moment, and will be out tomorrow, is a retrospective on Mattress Girl, because stuff has happened with that. And I had all these links that I'd saved, and I was just like, right, okay, I'll go through this at some point. Cause each link is a significant event in the sort of the narrative of it. And yeah, it's just like, you know, I just decided to do that because there have been a few updates, and I just wanted to get it out of the way. Somebody paid $10 to say fuck you to Sargon. Okay, that's fine. Fuck you, Sargon. Oh, fuck you too, dude. Louis Cypher. Oh, dude, why so angry? Come on, what's going on? We can talk about it. Is it my radical centrism, radical liberalism? Thanks, Sure Fat. Okay. We should get together and have a live chat soon. Yeah, we should actually. I can probably do something next week. You know, message me on Skype. You've got me on Skype, dude. You didn't have to give me money. Boom, free market capitalism. That just happened. Shake and bake. Thanks, Matt. And, yeah. So someone was like, I don't care about truth. What don't I care about truth about? I'm very curious. I would like to know. Someone tell me. Because I am actually interested in hearing people's arguments. I do actually want to know what people think, because I might be wrong. In this case, though, I think I'm not. So... Identitarianism is the true hipster position. Sargon is a poser. I'm not a fucking hipster. Fucking kill yourself. Call me a fucking hipster. Honestly, that's fucking fighting words where I come from. Fucking debate Mike Enoch. What about the Jewishness of his wife? Or the SJW-ness of it. Follow me on Twitter. Yeah, I've got Twitter. When do you think? When do the woke centrist death squads hit the streets? Yeah, as soon as Coca-Cola checks clear. I think the all go is just moments away. Actually, there we are. We're on a terrorist watch list now. You're a sexy man, says Sargon. Also, fuck communism. Traps are not gay as long as they look like girls. Fan. Compelling points. All of them actually. But yeah, basically, all I'm saying is, how much would Liberty Prime really cost? We can do this. It's more important than anything. Fucking communism, man. But anyway, I should probably head to bed because it's quite late. But thanks for hanging out, everyone, I guess. I just thought it would be fun to go through a bunch of salty Antifa bitches and just talk shit at them. Just deal with it, Antifa. Honestly, though, come on. Fucking, you must know you're being just like... total pricks, you know, just like, just, oh, we don't care whose property it is. Yeah, but they care, you know, they fucking care. You are, oh, it's for a greater good. Well, not everyone agrees, and that's true. You know, that's the problem. You know, you need to start persuading people it's true. And if you can persuade them that it's true, and if it is true, let's be honest, it's not that hard to persuade people of things that are true. Like, is it? Are they actually impervious to things that are true? I mean, I suppose the alt-right are probably screaming at me right now, you know, but generally, if you can prove something's true, then, you know, but, yeah, I just don't, fucking the whole fucking thing is just driving me nuts and stressing me out, man, I tell you. It's so fucking nice that something has actually happened with all of this, like, like we have actually managed to get 300,000 subscribers, people, sorry, not my subscribers, but I'm sure that a fair amount of my subscribers did sign it, and thanks for signing that, because I couldn't, you know, but yeah, 300,000 people fucking signed a petition against Antifa. That's pretty fucking good, you know. That's a fucking large number, and it was more than enough to get it sent to the White House. So hopefully, this is Trump will use that and the petition, this sort of media environment and the petition to actually like do something about Antifa. And just honestly, any fucking groups of fucking people. It doesn't have to just target Antifa. Holy shit, just don't start violence in the streets. If you're part of a group that is repeatedly starting violence in the streets, then yeah, something should be done about you. Like, what the fuck? How is that? And the thing is, this applies to literally anyone. Go and protest peacefully for whatever the fuck it is you want. Just don't go starting fights. And if you don't go starting fights, everything will be fine for everyone. I don't see how this is hard to fucking comprehend. Antifa, you got no one to fucking blame but yourselves. Anyway, take it easy, everyone.